Remember, kids, don't just fish, accessorize. Oh my God, I got a nibble. What's going on? I'm Coach Nick representing No Redemption Outdoors. Today I got your top 5 forgotten bass fishing lures. These are the ones that are the back of your tackle box, the ones you never throw, the ones you forgot you even had. But all 5 of them have one thing in common. They still catch fish, and that's why they've been around forever. Check it out. We're starting off with number 1. Number 1 is the Buzzbait. This guy goes on the surface. It makes tons of noises. It calls to fish, please come eat me. Yes, so many of us out there think that the Whopper Plopper has totally taken over. That's the only option for those real loud surface lures. Well, bottom line is this guy still has its place. It's a big profile, especially one like this. This one's even got the dual blades on it. But what I really like about it is the weedless nature of this lure. Now, a Whopper Plopper has trebles on it, usually 2 or 3 depending on the size and brand, and they get hung up a lot, especially if they have that cover that's right by the surface. This guy does not, and the simple reason is it's got the arm that comes off the top. That protects the hook and makes it a little less likely to snag up. And also, oftentimes big fish will be what hits this lure. Check it out, the Buzzbait. Start throwing it. Number 2 is the spoon. In this case, the Johnson Silver Minnow. It's called the Silver Minnow. This one's gold, but it's still got the same name. That's weird, Johnson. Get your stuff together. Anyway, this is pretty cool because it has a weed guard on it. And if I reel that pretty fast and I reel it over the top of, let's say, the lily pad, or if I have any type of vertical structure in the water, it's not real likely to get snagged up, and it covers a lot of water. One like this is more towards the surface, and I can crank that sucker in, and it goes back and forth, and something eats it. Try these. You probably have one. If not, your granddaddy does. Number 3. We got your spinnerbait right here, and you're saying, Coach Nick, spinnerbait hasn't been cool since 1995 when Kevin Van Dam was throwing it and making his cool videos about it. And I agree, it's been around a long time, but it is still cool. Now, in much the same way people look at the Whopper Plopper as the replacement to the Buzzbait, many folks look at the Chatterbait as the replacement to the spinnerbait, and I again disagree. Here's why. Spinnerbait is a big profile lure. Look at this friggin' thing. It's big. It's got a bunch of blades and hooks and skirts and stuff. That bigger profile oftentimes attracts big fish. Typically, if I get a bite on a spinnerbait, it's at least going to be a keeper, and I've got some real big ones on it in the past. The other thing is, again, kind of like that Buzzbait, we have the arm over top. That helps to shield the hooks, and you can dance this through the heaviest of cover, especially things like lily pads and that vertical cover, and it's not gonna get snagged up very easily. Keep a high rod tip. Spinnerbaits are awesome. Numero 4. That's 4 for those of us that just speak American. And that's gonna be right here, the Inline Spinnerbait. Now you're looking at that saying, Coach Nick, that's only to catch you some trout and maybe some muskie. And truth is, that ain't true. This is just a proven fish catcher all around. For bass, they work quite well. And it's oftentimes a presentation they don't see that often because not that many guys or girls throw it for bass. Cool thing is you can catch a little bass, you can catch a big bass. If the bass aren't biting, you might get a pike or a pickerel, or if you got trout in there, you might get yourself a trout. Very, very versatile lure. I like this one. This is the MEPS. I also like the Blue Fox Vibrax. That's a good one too. Try these out if it's been a while. Last one on the list. This is number 5. We have a lure that's been around since the dawn of time. I'm talking about right after the creation of the plastic worm. We had this one right here. My daddy threw it, my granddaddy threw it, and you should be throwing it too. And that is this guy right here, the Screw Tail Grub. Mr. Twister was originally the creator of this lure. There's about a zillion different brands and manufacturers that make them. But the bottom line is, it's simple, it's an easy presentation for them to eat, and it catches fish. It's also very versatile. That little tail right there goes in like a little screw shape as it comes through the water. You put that on a jig head, and you gonna catch yourself some fish. Cool thing is, on that jig head, I can jig it across the bottom, I can drag it across the bottom, I can just swim it, much in the same way you use a swim jig, and it just works. This guy's been around forever for a reason, because it catches bass. Those are my top 5. Comment below, do you agree with my list? Are there others that need to be added? Any that you think should not be on the list? Please let me know. And as always, if you've not yet subscribed to the channel, make sure you do that. Turn that red icon, which is somewhere on this screen, to gray, because then you're subscribed. Make sure you hit the bell too, because that notifies you when we upload a new video. I am Coach Nick, your fishing coach. Over and out.